As a great person once said, ask not what your religion can do for you. Well, ask not what you can do for your religion. Ask what the religion can do for you.
Hmm.
Well, he had the open brace surgery, but then
Hey man, also want to talk a bit about the your boy, your spiritual leader.
my boy, hey man,
Uh,
Lamar Bishop Bling or Lamar Whitehead.
Bling,
When
bling.
first heard the name, I thought Lamar Whitehead. I was like, "What are they talking about?" Lamar Odom. No, just kidding. But
uh,
Lamar Whitehead, we talked about him like 2 weeks ago, or was it last week? I'm not sure, but
I think it
he
was
was,
last week.
yeah, he was charged with fraud, and basically, this sorry mofo got uh, uh, got convicted for stealing 90K
Hmm.
from a parishioner and using the money to buy luxury items, trying to extort as well a businessman for promising favors from New York City Mayor Eric Adams in return for lucrative deals.
Hmm.
He was convicted on 2 counts of wire fraud, 1 count of attempted wire fraud, and 1 count of attempted extortion. Each carry maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. I think it's a good thing that this guy is off the street.
I think so too. I think so too. I really have so fraudulent people are always going to be there. Shady people are always going to be there. But I have a particular problem with people using God, religion, and or spirituality in their schemes. Because when you use, I mean, when you use God, spirituality, religion, um, you basically you basically attract people who give you a certain place in their lives, right? A place of authority in their lives. And for
Yep.
you to do something like that, it's disgusting. It's despicable.
Yes.
He should be ashamed. And I'm very happy that he's locked up, or at least he's gonna get locked up. Um, and this is also a matter of time because the stories have been going around of him doing what he's doing. But I
Yeah,
guess, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, your actions will catch up to you.
it will. It will. And to be honest, I'm gonna go my at this point, if you guys have watched the show, I tend to blame the victim. That's at least that's what I've heard. I tend to put accountability on the victim because the victim should have known. I'm gonna read something to you, RJ. I'm not victim blame. I'm just saying do your research on whoever is your pastor or whoever you're gonna give some money.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read this to you, and you tell me if you would give this person a penny, $1, $2, or just the uppercut against the chin.
Hmm.
Miller-Whitehead was a pastor at the Leaders of Tomorrow International Ministries, which he helped form after serving 5 years in prison. Guess what he
What?
did?
Right.
Identity theft and grand larceny.
No, man.
He lived in a $1.6 million mansion in New Jersey City of Paramus and owned several apartment buildings in Hartford, Connecticut. In July, he made headlines when he was robbed of 1 million in jewelry in the middle of his church service. People were saying that that was a setup, probably. Well, I think I've heard that they caught the person who did it. But yeah, this guy did his time for identity theft and grand
And
larceny.
larcenies.
I always say this. There are two types of in my brain, in my head. There's two types of crimes. There are crimes you do by hand, and you do the others you do by brain. What do I mean by that? If you rob someone physically, that's to me that's by hand.
Mm-hmm.
If you rob someone by identity theft or portraying something, scamming in a sense, that's for me a crime from the brain, because you're not forcing, you're coercing, or you're persuading someone to give you the money.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to stuff like this, when someone does identity theft, in my belief, personally, I have a big problem with that, with what they do in the future, because it's a mental thing. You've already seen how easy it is. And you think, oh, I can get away if I do these kind of steps. That's
Mm-hmm.
why, for me, in this case, I wouldn't give this guy $1. I probably would have given him an uppercut,
Mm-hmm.
Tyson style.
Yeah, but again, that's you. A lot of people don't have that. And they've been conditioned and brainwashed
To
put
give a second
themselves
chance.
to put themselves in a lower position as soon as someone tells them they're a pastor. So if we're talking to each other, just like when we're talking to each other, and I tell you I'm a lawyer. If in your life,
Mhm.
a lawyer is seen as something that's wow, then you're automatically gonna say, "Oh wow, a lawyer," and by doing so, you place me in a higher rank in your life than yourself. Just like um, But for me, for example, as a lawyer, if another person tells me he's a lawyer, I'm like, okay, hey, colleague. Like, it's nothing like really different. And because in my work, my field of work, I deal with a lot of accountants, tax advisors, all kinds of professionals. I don't really see people like, wow, it's like, wow, an accountant. But if you're only surrounded by pookies and daydays, then when you do find a lawyer suited up, you will, wow. And the same goes for priests and pastors and other spiritual leaders. When someone tells you this is a spiritual leader, and if and especially if it's one that falls into your way of believing, your religion, you will automatically place that person, give the person a high rank in your life.
Mm.
Yeah.
Can this
And
be
this is what
prevented? Actually, so
should
the
be prevented, but it needs but it requires you putting religion in its place. So giving everything in your life the proper place. There is a place for religion, there is a place for spirituality, there is a place for everything, but there's a place for you as well.
Mm.
And you need to place everything in a way that is also beneficial to you. Because if the priester comes and tells you, I was a scammer, I've been delivered, I'm not stealing no more, I'm delivered, then in a case like that, in a situation like that, I would be like, good for you, priest. But all the financial side of me, the financial role, not role, but despite this financial aspect of me, the investor aspect of me will say, I'm not give this guy one penny, because I'm not gonna give him anything I can afford to lose.
As a great person once said, ask not what your religion can do for you. Well, ask not what you can do for your religion. Ask what the religion can do for you.
Mhm.
Well, he had an open brain surgery, but then
He
R.I.P.
didn't
to him.
actually say that
Hey, oh,
exactly.
yeah, he didn't say that exactly. Yeah, that might be true. Another person that got before we go, R.I.P. to his name was James Barnett, I think. Was his name James Barnett? Boeing guy.
Oh yeah.
Not gonna go deep into that. Maybe we talk about it in another show, but that's a crazy story. Allegedly, they've been saying, so it's John Barnett, by the way, John Barnett. A good friend of him claimed that they talked about this before. So it's going to. continue after this. Crazy story, crazy story. If you read the stories about that whole case, by the way, that it's looking bad for Boeing. But anyway, good luck to everyone, and yeah, R.I.P. to John, man. John was out here whistleblowing, and it's very bad.